Hey, Matt Scratch here, and today I'm going to do a review of my 1991 Lincoln Town Car Cartier for you. So I feel like I was really lucky to find this car. This backstory on it is it was owned by a little old lady from Calgary, Alberta, but she drove it down to Florida every winter, and she stayed there for 6 months during the winter months. So this car was kept in her garage in Florida all winter, so it didn't have any sun damage or anything, and it was kept in her garage in Calgary all summer. And it was sold brand new by this Universal Ford in Calgary, and they're the same people that maintained the car for the old lady since it was new pretty well. And you can see right there they did some protection on it, and they did the underbody protection. So underneath, this car looks just as good as it does on the top side. It truly is immaculate, like all the original paints on the frame and everything. There's no rust underneath on any of the fasteners or anything. Nothing's really even worn out underneath because they kept all the front end parts nice and greased all the time and everything. And then I actually bought the car from its second owner, who was a real estate agent in Calgary, and he owned it for about 4 years. And he had a heated underground parking, so he kept the car there, so it was always kept indoors. And he took really good care of the car as well. He did winter drive it a little, and unfortunately I had to winter drive it last winter, but this winter I plan on parking it. I have my 1990 beater Lincoln Town Car that I'm going to be driving this winter. Although I will say the town cars do pretty good as a winter car. The heaters are like a blast furnace. They heat the car up right away, and with a good set of snow tires they do real well in the snow as well. Now you may notice that there's a little damage on the front corner here, and that's the only, that was there when I bought the car. That's the only body damage on the car, other than the odd parking lot ding and stuff. I mean, it is a 1991. And then this trim always goes like this, unfortunately. I need to do something with that one day soon. One of the town car's greatest features, and why it's so easy to live with as a daily use or family vehicle, is its enormous trunk. Sorry, I've got junk in my trunk at the moment, but as you can see, this trunk is huge. And yes, I get asked every time somebody's helping me load something how many bodies will fit in here. It's a running joke, but it's true. You could fit about half a dozen in here for sure. And then, so you don't disturb the neighbors when you come home late, it's got this awesome power trunk lid. It's just a power pull down motor, so you just gently latch it and it pulls down. This car also has air suspension, so it keeps the ride level. Even if you do have 6 bodies in your trunk, nobody would know. It's not going to sag out on the back end. So this car has another nice feature with the hood. It has lift struts, and a lot of people probably don't like those because theirs are worn out and the hood falls on their head, which was the case when I bought the car. But you know what? $12 each, well worth it. And it took about 10 minutes to install them, and now the hood doesn't fall on my head. And it's actually a lot nicer than having a bunch of squeaky hinges that wear out and seize up over time. Under the lightweight aluminum hood rests this all new for 1991 4.6 liter V8. And it puts out 210 horsepower with the dual exhaust option that this car has. And they're pretty decent engines. This one's getting up there. It's got 305,000 kilometers, which is like 189,000 miles on it, so it's starting to use a little oil and whatnot, but it still runs reliably for us, and it gets amazing fuel economy. lately I've been also dailying my 2000 Dodge Neon, and honestly I get about similar fuel mileage for daily use between the two cars. I'm not even sure the Lincoln isn't a little better. It's almost like Lincoln intentionally made this car extra long on the front. Look how much room there is ahead of the engine. There's a good 3 feet of car ahead of the engine, but I guess it looks right. It's a good proportion for the car, and honestly, driving this car with a nice long nose, your nose gets out there in traffic and people let you in before you even make eye contact with them. You got the whole front end of your car in front of them and they don't have much choice to let you in. So that right there is a factory light sensor, and that's for the automatic dimming system on the headlights, and it'll actually automatically dim and brighten your headlights for oncoming traffic, ideally. The feature doesn't work as good in reality. It probably did work pretty good when the car was new, but lights have changed since this car's been built, and they have these purple and yellow and whatnot headlights now, and the sensor doesn't work very good at detecting them. So when we did try to use that system, it kept blinding people, unfortunately. So we use them on manual, but it's still kind of a cool feature, and it's cool that they had it that far back, you know, in 1991. The car has a keypad entry system. I've never actually used it, but I know it does work. And it's also got heated mirrors. They do work when you put on the rear defroster. The mirrors heat up and defrost as well. So there you see it's got the Cartier badging there, and it originally had the premium sound system JBL badge there. It still does on the other side, and I actually have the missing badge. I've just got to put it on. I found one off another car because that was missing when I bought the car. I'll show you on the other side quickly there. So it should have that on both sides. And there it's got the other Cartier badge. And it's got the airbag in it. Some of the 91s did still come with an airbag delete, but this has the airbag. There's the JBL factory tape deck. And it does have a pretty nice sound. We use it all the time. And it's got climate control. The air conditioning works great. Everything works on this car. Even the moonroof works. Right now the moonroof actually, the seal on it was just all weather cracked, and I'm going to be replacing it right away here, and hopefully doing a video on that. But I've just been using the car so much, I put latex caulking around it for now just to make sure no water was getting in there, and I just really haven't had time to address it. But the moonroof works perfect. It's just I gotta replace the weather seal. One thing that really annoys me about these cars is the windshield wiper controls, because just to do a swipe you've got to roll it all the way up to low past all the intermittent settings. It's okay if you just want to do a squirt, you can just push it in, but to do an actual, just a swipe, if it's light rain, it's annoying. And then the intermittent settings are too fast on the slowest one sometimes, and then you have to shut it off and park it, and yeah. That's one of the few things that annoys me about this car. Look, it's got the optional anti-theft system, and it does have the actual alarm. I've made it sound before. It beeps the horn for like 2 minutes or something if you set it off. One thing I forgot to mention as a difference in my other video, differences between a 90 and a 91 town car, is this tilt lever is completely different on a 90. They actually had a really fancy chrome lever on the 90s, and I'm so sorry I forgot to show that in my other video. But other than that, that's just a good video, so please go check out that video, differences between a 90 and a 91 town car. So this car doesn't have faux leather. This is actually a no charge option to have the velour inserts in the Cartier. These are Cartier specific seats. See, there's the Cartier emblem, and this was a common option actually in Canada because leather's kind of cold here in the winter, so a lot of Canadians actually opted for this velour insert. And just side note here, these seats were really badly stained and dirty when I got the car, and look how nice they look. And actually I cleaned them up with the same process I used in my leather cleaning video. So if you like the results you see here, go check out that video and you could have similar results on your car with my awesome how-to video. Then in the back seat, I've got some junk in here. This is our daily car that we use for family use, so I didn't clean it up at all for the video. And it's just as comfortable in the back seat as it is in the front, to be honest. Look at that, ashtrays in the all the doors, except they didn't put one in the driver's door. I guess the driver's supposed to use the main ashtray. And it's got the it's got the power lumbar setting on the Cartier seat. And the Cartier seat is special in that it has a special foam on it actually. It's got like 1.5 inches of extra soft foam on top of what the normal town car seat has, so it's extra cushy. It's got the digital gauges, which you'll see when we're driving here, and it's got automatic headlights. They automatically come on and when it's dark out, and they go off again when you shut the car off. It's got a delay on it so that you have time to walk to your door after you shut the car off. And it's got 2-position seat memory. So this is 0 to 60, or I'll put that in miles per hour. So 0 to 60 in the 91 town car. There you go. I've had this car about a year, and I really love it. I mean, it's everything a luxury car should be. It's soft and smooth, and it's quiet. It's kind of like a cocoon of softness, I like to say. It just sort of pampers you, and that's what a good luxury car should do. It's not fast by any means. Even on our mountain drive video, it was struggling a bit in those mountains, but that's not what it's really for, and it does okay at that too. I mean, it's not scary to drive around corners in or anything. Once you get used to a little bit of body sway, it handles just fine. I mean, even in the winter time on ice, it really doesn't slide around a lot or anything like that. They're a good stable car, and I love using it for daily use. It's got a huge trunk and a huge back seat, and you know, it'll pack big items and do everything we need it to do. And I mean, amazingly, I still get amazing fuel economy. I mean, I get probably about 22 miles per gallon in American gallons. So that's it's pretty darn good in my opinion for a car this size. And I mean, it's not the cheapest, but consider that these cars are like bulletproof reliable too, and they don't eat parts. So yeah, you could get a smaller, more fuel efficient car, but I'm not sure the cost of ownership long term would actually be cheaper on that. I mean, you have to consider what's going to break if you're going to own that car long term. This car, according to the last owner that had it for 4 years, it's just been an amazing car. He said he hardly had to touch anything on it in 4 years, and that's typical of town car ownership. They're just reliable daily workhorses, and they're a very fine luxury car also, and they're affordable. I paid $2,500 for this car initially when I bought it, and that was probably a high price, but I was willing to pay that premium to get a car in this condition. Even if the miles were a little high, that's okay. It still runs good and everything, so that's mileage doesn't concern me as much as the condition of the body and how it's been maintained. But yeah, I would highly recommend a town car if you're looking for a luxury vehicle. They're about the cheapest, best bang for your buck, really. You're not going to find anything more affordable to buy and maintain and drive daily. So one other thing that's great about the town car is its tight turning radius. These are based on the same platform as the Ford Crown Victoria, which, as many of you know, are also used as police vehicles, or were. And so as a result, they have a very tight turning radius and good maneuverability, even though they're a large vehicle, which I'm about to demonstrate here. Cartier.